Hey, this is Matt Raymond from Autograph University. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Masterclass. Today we're going to talk to Eric Jacobowitz, who's a New Jersey-based collector and a computer programmer. We're going to talk a little bit of tech today. Eric actually came up with a software program that helps collectors get better organized and catalog their collection. It's something I wish I had years ago. My whole inventory system, which is non-existent, would be in obviously much better shape. I'd be able to keep track of things and know where things are. So it's really cool. We're going to learn a little bit about that. We're going to hear about Eric's story. And it has a family connection there, which is always a cool thing to talk about when it comes to autograph collecting. So let's get right to it. Hey, welcome to the Autograph University Masterclass. I'm Matt Raymond. We're joined today by Eric Jacobowitz, who is a New Jersey-based collector, but actually we're going to be talking a lot more about his day job, which is a computer programmer. Eric, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So it's a little bit unique because actually, you're not I wouldn't call you a diehard collector. It's actually someone in your family who is, more of the collector and has actually brought you into the hobby. So can you talk about, how your son has, impacted your activity with autograph collecting?
Sure. When I was younger, I didn't do much collecting. Besides going to an Islanders game and getting some autographs, that's all I basically did. I held on to those autographs, never did anything with them, just filed them away. And a few years ago, I took my son to a Devils game, and he really liked it. He wanted to try and get a player to sign for him. And I showed him my autograph collection after that. And there was a local player, Adam Green, for the Devils, signing it at the mall nearby. So we went, and he got an autograph, and he just liked meeting the athlete and getting him to sign something for him. And so from there, we went to more signings, or we'll go to a Yankee game, and he'll get balls signed during batting practice. And then he started to write letters to athletes, and his collection has really grown. And I just helped him out by helping him log everything that he has.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love when there's a family connection. When I talk to people, and certainly, as a fairly new dad. My son just turned 2 last Friday. I'm already thinking about, take him to the ballpark for the first time. Getting that autograph and sharing it with him. So it's cool that it's actually your son that kind of got you involved. Do you feel like that rekindled any kind of like old feelings that you had about meeting players, or kind of maybe a desire to go back and get some autographs of some of the players that you grew up with?
I found it when we go to the signings, and there are older players that I idolized growing up, and he knows all their stats, and he's getting the autograph and talking to them. But I find it fascinating because it's players that I idolized growing up, and it's been great to do together with him.
Sure. Is there I know you mentioned going to the Green signing. Is there a story that stands out to you, about a particular, whether it's an in-person success, or I know, in your email to me, you mentioned your son does a lot of, through the mail collecting. Is there a particular success that stands out, or a memory that you guys share together?
It's great how the athletes sign for the kids. They do much more for the kids than they do for the adults, which is great. And we went to a signing, and Jim Palmer happened to have been there.
Cool. And
my son knew his stats but didn't know much about him. And we went up and it was a paid signing. So we went up, and he handed Jim Palmer the ball, and he said, "Can you write the year you put the Cy Young on it?" And the handler who was sitting next to Jim Palmer said, "We're not allowed. You didn't pay for the inscription." And Jim Palmer turned to my son and said, "Is this for you?" My son said yes, and he wrote the inscription and everything else for him. Showed him how to hold a curveball,
cool.
And just interacted with him, and it was great. Another one would be through the mail, when he sent a letter to Matt Capps, and got back 3 cards.
Wow!
And that it was very exciting.
Cool. So I alluded to it before, in that being a programmer is really what you do on a day-to-day basis. Tell me how the autograph collecting that you've done with your son actually led to a new project, with software that, something that you invented, really.
We started getting this collection, and it started to grow. And we wanted to keep track of what we had and who signed what and what was signed. So first it started out just on pieces of paper. We just made a list of what we had signed, or his TTMs, when he sent it out, and the date it was received and what was sent. And it started to get a little unruly on paper. So I put together a quick program for him where he can enter in all the details of what he sends through the mail or what he gets in person, and it became a nice little program, and we've added all kinds of features to it to make it better for him, and he keeps track of everything he has in there. And it's something we do together, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you sent me a copy to take a look. It's called Catalog It. And frankly, it's something that I wish I had. I mean, the folks that read Autograph University or watch these videos know that they get tips and best practices, but a lot of those are from mistakes that I made in trial and error. And one of the biggest regrets that I have several years into this hobby is just not organizing things in a logical way and being on top of all the autographs that I'm getting. I mean, when we're getting cards or photos, even just IDing, that's easy to do, but I get a lot of readers know that I like the autograph card at theautographcard.com, where they don't have like a specific name or photo on them. Or my buddy and I, before I got banned from the Hoop Hall Classic in Springfield, would go and we'd make these custom like NBA cards and get all the the high school prep stars on them. And if I didn't put a little sticky on the back of who it was within the a week or so, where I could like visually attach that scribble to whoever that person was. I mean, I have literally a stack of autographs and I have no idea who signed them. And that's terrible, because a lot of those guys are probably NBA players now, or I've some baseball autographs on the autograph card that I just lose track of. And I think more than that, it's good to just have like a snapshot of what your collection looks like. So, the things I thought were really cool is it just kind of brings together stuff that we're as collectors doing a lot of every day. So, we're taking pictures and we're putting up on our Facebook page or on Sports Graphing or Sports Collectors, and we kind of rely on some third-party sites to kind of have that database for us. But I really like that you can have that all in one place in yourself, for yourself. So, I mean, I was really impressed with it. And like I said, I needed this software, not even 7 or 8 years ago when I started, but, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, when I was doing the TTMs, just in tracking, return time and stuff like that. So, just wondering if you can, speak to kind of, what your vision is for, the software. If people are, interested in it, just kind of tell me about like what's next for, Catalog It, or if people are interested in kind of testing it out, because I think you offer trials if people just want to play with it.
Right, yeah. Catalog It. It's really good for any kind of collector, autograph collector, because you can track the item that gets cataloged, the item that you get autographed, a baseball, a basketball, a football, or a baseball card, and whether it's TTM or IP. So there's everything in there for the collector, and we've gotten some positive feedback from it. And yeah, there is a 30 days. You can download it, try it, enter in as much as you want. There's no limitations in what you can enter into the software. It just, right now, to demo it, it would be 30 days. And I just want to keep, and as people email me suggestions, I try and incorporate them into the software as quickly as possible. 99% of the time, it's stuff that's pretty easy to add on. So we just keep adding new features when people ask for them. And just trying to make it as robust as possible for the autograph collector.
Yeah, and you have a great focus group in your house. I'm sure your son is asking for stuff to get added, and you guys are using it every day with your own successes. Going back to just the collecting, I think the software is really important. In if anyone mistakes this for me just pushing a product, I mean, people know that we feature specific products, and I tell people what I use, and that's why you're on here. It's it's not for a favor or anything else. I think it's a really valuable piece of kind of any collector's arsenal of just keeping track and knowing what they have. But going back to collecting, wondering kind of what your and your son's years look like so far in terms of 2014, and like some of your, goals when you look at, either, players you want to get, or how the season has been going so far for you guys?
So far this year, it's been a little slow as far as baseball season. Like I said, we mostly do baseballs now. So we've only been to a few games, but we've gotten some autographs. Hopefully more as the summer goes on. One of the things we want to do is not make the same mistakes we made when we first started.
Sure.
We have the old baseballs where the not good baseballs where the autograph is starting to fade.
Yep.
And we're
China stamped baseballs.
Yep, and we're trying to replace those autographs as best we can.
Yeah.
That's one of the big ones on our list.
Totally.
One nice thing you mentioned that I do it with the son, it's actually grown into a whole family affair now. My daughter, who plays
cool.
softball, she's into it now, and she chases down Jenny Finch,
nice.
softball pitcher, and my wife has gotten into it, and so now it's become a whole big family affair, which is great.
You're gonna have to tell me how to do that, because my wife is still. I would say tolerates it, and that would be probably the nicest way of putting it.
Well, what's nice about it is that when your children are into it,
yeah, hey,
you get into it.
I'm trying to speed him up.
And it started out as just a fun hobby. We weren't in it for the money.
Yeah.
Just something to do together. And
totally.
It's something we all enjoy together.
Excellent. So if someone wants to get in touch or like learn more about, Catalog It, or, jump on one of those trials, I mean, how do they do that? What are the best next steps for
the best way to do it is you can go to our website, castlecomputer.com.
Okay.
And right on there, you can download a demo and try it. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. You'll get me all the time.
Cool.
I'm very responsive on email. I try and respond as quickly as possible. And I'll help you out the best I can. But castlecomputer.com is definitely the best way to download the demo and get up and running.
Okay, definitely. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm using it now. I'm slowly, reducing that stack and trying to, catalog everything, because I think it's really, important. And, certainly, we talk to, people like Scott Smith, who have, 20,000 Sports Illustrateds. I mean, we know that, he's cataloging these things, using, whatever system he's using. And, a lot of us have thousands and thousands of items, and, they're just in boxes and we don't know where things are. And, to have something that we can refer to quickly. I know all the time, if I do a post and I'm like, I wish I knew exactly like which binder this autograph was, so I can go and like do a scan of it or something like that. I mean, it answers a lot of questions, and I think there's a lot of value. So people should go and they should try it out, and if it's for them, that's great. So again, I'm really impressed by what you're doing. I think it's awesome that you're sharing the hobby with your son. I mean, hearing those stories is inspiring. We always hear so many kind of negative things about autograph collecting in the news, and those are kind of like what take the headlines. But what's kind of cool about these masterclass episodes is to actually talk to people who are having kind of a positive experience. And when we talk about fathers or parents with their children, that's kind of like the core essence of why we do it and how we all got started. So that's cool. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us about it.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Cool. That's our show. Big thanks to Eric Jacobowitz for coming on. If you want to learn more about Catalog It, or to get in touch with Eric if you have any questions, connect with him at castlecomputer.com. And exclusive for Autograph University readers, you can use coupon code AutographU. It's right here. For $5 off, so even more of a bargain. Like I said before, I think it's a great value and a worthwhile investment for anybody who collects autographs and just wants to get better organized. So thanks for watching. Get in touch with me on Twitter at Matt Raymond. You can email me anytime at matt@autographu.com. Love to get your questions and feedback. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/autographu, and of course autographu.com for all our articles and tips and best practices and more episodes of the masterclass. Would love to hear from you, and thanks for watching.